Something to put.
Friday. So that was my story after. And then 3 days later, I had my AI seminar. I was working from home. Shabir was coming.
What do you mean it happened recently?
Yeah, recently they had the air because we have fire from
I was
us.
at Ashfaq came home with his wife and visited me. What's this guy's name? Shakur came. Wadi, they came to visit me in hospital. It was like so bad.
No, what do you mean? This happened recently.
So I must wear this. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk when I must talk.
Right. Oh.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I'm now for Miss Alhamdulillah. Almost 25. I'm going to it's intense and emotional. I love it. You know, it's just you can put it One are anxious. Look forward to doing everything possible to ensure well, today we will be focusing on paper. You know, different tips, guidance, and motivation to help us shine. So, thank you for tuning in, and once again, welcome to School Matters. For almost 2 decades, Radio Al Ansar School Matters has proudly hosted matric seminars and live on air tuition, bringing you only the very best educators. And tonight is no exception. Joining us is Mrs. PRIYANKA, an expert Afrikaans educator who will be guiding us, the class of 2025, through Afrikaans Paper 3. She's an educator at Burnwood Secondary. You know, before we could come onto air, I was telling her how we miss Mr. Gokul. If you're an avid listener of School Matters, for almost, I'll say, for like 17 years, Mr. Gokul, for physical science, for coding and robotics, for tech and everything else, which was so fourth industrial revolution and got to do with education and progression. He was part of the School Matters family. Well, may the Almighty, take care of him and, and his family, may he rest in peace. Well, our guest, our educator, who is now going to be the official Afrikaans lady for School Matters, is our sister from Burnwood. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a.
Thank you, Sumaya. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and good evening to our listeners. You spoke about Mr. Gokul, and I remember when I started at Burnwood Secondary, I used to always listen to him on the radio. So it's a bittersweet moment for me, but I'm honored to be here, also be on air. So today we're going to be focusing on Afrikaans paper 3. I know many learners struggle with this paper, but we always focus so much on the studying and we forget that our mindset is also important. Your mental health is also important when you are writing the matric exams. Like you said, parents get stressed out, the teachers are stressed, and all of this is projected on learners. So I want to say to the class of 2025, go into this exam with a positive mindset. You've got this. You've been preparing since grade 8. And, especially when it comes to paper 3, because of the obstacle, this is where learners struggle. And they get so overwhelmed, but you've got this. You're going into the exam with a treasure chest of knowledge. You've been writing these genres since grade 8. So some learners even use the same essays from grade 8.
I was guilty of that.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because what we are looking for when we go into the marking center is simple Afrikaans sentences. It's simplicity. And quite often we find that learners want to impress the marker, which is wonderful, but keep your sentences simple. I always tell them that.
the legacy of Mr. Gokul lives on. Asif Autek lives on via you and everybody else who is here. Do you know, Afrikaans, I'm going to say it the way it is. Maths, physics, Afrikaans. Those are like, no one really likes it.
True.
It's like everyone I know is going for Afrikaans tuition
Yes.
currently right now. And, you know, we always say, we always have this debate at school matters. They say the educator can change that. Educator can change that. So I know you guys are definitely doing something good.
Thank you. That is true. You know, a lot of times learners, they feel that, you know, Afrikaans is a chore, especially when it comes to paper 3. And it is a very difficult task, but we try our best to make it exciting for them. And especially because it's the first additional language. And we're proud as teachers when we see they want to impress us. They use Beeldspraak, which is their imagery. You know, they go all out. But the best advice I can give you going into this final paper on Friday, keep your sentences simple, and because we're already impressed, you've made it so far, and it's your time to shine.
Well, the platform is yours and probably around, I think like 25 to or so, 22. Yeah, we'll be taking a short ad.
Okay, that's perfect. So I want to start with afdeling. Well, before I do that, I just want learners to remember that it is a 2.5-hour paper. Use your time wisely. On the instructies, which is your instruction page, you are given the time that you should spend on each section. Use it wisely. With afdeling, this is the section that learners struggle with, which is your opstel. And quite often learners always ask, must we do beplanning, ma'am? Is it important? And I'm saying yes. Please make sure that you have your planning. You have a draft. You cannot write a 50-mark essay without a planning. So it can be in the form of a brain card, a spinnerkop diagram. Some learners choose to write out the whole essay. Please, also very important, you must indicate that is your planning. Strike a line through it or write beplanning, because when we go into the marking center, we are told to mark the first piece of writing that we see. So please make sure that you are indicating it is your planning, and don't write your essay and then do your planning, because how then can you write an effective essay? Also, read all of the topics, fully analyze each topic, because sometimes we read the first 3 or 4 words, and we assume that we know what it means, and we leave out the key parts. One of the past papers, the topic was ek het nie geluister nie in 2. And learners focus on ek het nie geluister nie, I did not listen, and they forgot the N2, die gevolge, the consequences. So read each topic very carefully. When it comes to the pictures, a lot of times learners go into the exam with a pre-planned essay, and they choose to write those pre-planned essays on one of the pictures. Do that, but you have to adapt your essay to the given topic or to the picture. You quite often learners write my toekomsplanne, my future plans, but they have not linked it to the picture. Every paragraph must link to your title. Always ask yourself, once you're done with that paragraph, have I answered my question? Does it refer to my title? When it comes to pictures, for example, if there's a picture of a South African music group, and you write a wonderful opstel, dit was my beste vakansie. This was my best holiday. And only in your last paragraph, a few sentences, mention, ek het hier die groep op die vliegtuig gesien. You saw this group on the plane, they were on the same flight as you. You will be marked down because you have not focused on what is in the picture. Don't only look at the foreground, look at the background, analyze the whole picture. When we mark, we look at our rubric, which is concise. So learners are given a fair mark. 30 of those marks are for your inhoud and your beplanning, which is your content and your planning. So your content has to be precise. Relate, I'm saying it again, relate your essay that you have pre-learned to the topic. Some of the high frequency areas is that learners do not read the whole topic. And also, because you've got a pre-planned essay and your topic is not there, learners start to panic. So you've been learning themes since grade 8. If your essay is on friendskap and you can't seem to find it in the exam. You can always change that to die belangrikste mense in my lewe, the most important people in my life. But know what your essay means so that if you are stuck, you can draw on the vocabulary that you have to write your essay. Don't learn an essay when you don't know what it means. Also, be guided with your language. It is wonderful to use, we call them taaljuwelen, so gems. It is wonderful to use ek was sick soos a hond. Ek was doodmoeg. Instead of saying moeg, ek was doodmoeg. That is wonderful. It is encouraged, but don't only focus on doing that. The reason being is that you will often lose focus from what your main idea is. So if you're confident to use it, yes, by all means, but make sure that you are still focused on the topic that is given to you. Another question that learners ask is about the word count. We do count 250 to 300 words, because if you are writing beyond that, you are losing focus on your essay. So we count each and every word, and we have to stop marking at 300, because like I said, it is 250 to 300 words. And often learners ask, can we predict the essay? Ma'am, can you tell us what topic would be there? Unfortunately, we also don't know, but it does help to go over the past papers, because you can notice that some topics seem to be a common link. Dit was 'n goeie jaar. Dit was die beste dag van my lewe. Daardie dag het ek 'n baie goeie les geleer. So you can relate those topics to what is given in the exam. And please be mindful when you are writing about a picture. Don't just write down 1.6 and answer the question. Your essay must have a title. It even tells you that in the question paper. And daar moet 'n baie streng verband tussen jou opstel en die prentjie. There needs to be a strong connection between the picture as well as your essay. So I know that afdeling, as soon as learners see opstel, they just draw. They'll write their topic, draw a cloud, and then draw 4 other clouds and write down 4 words. Don't do that. If you are using that as your planning, that can be your starting point. But make sure your planning is thorough. Edit your work. We call this redigering, your editing. It is on the rubric. We need to see that you have edited your work before you write your final draft. Also, editing your work would also help you pick up on spelling errors. Very important as well, you are marked and you are assessed in the language that you are being tested in, which is Afrikaans first additional language. So please avoid English. The minute you start writing, ek go na die strand, immediately you have penalized yourself, because it is marked wrong. And we have to start now looking at the lower category for your language and your inhoud. So avoid doing that. Like I said, you have the vocab. You've got knowledge with you from grade 8. And you are never alone. It's not too late. You are still in contact with your teachers. Hound them. Find out words that you are unsure of. Learners this year were given the Afrikaans Just in Time book. There's a lot of vocab in there. I suggest going over that as well. Don't get so fixated on learning an essay that you cannot adapt to anything. So like I said, know the vocab, simple sentences, and that would help you get your 250 words. Also very important, you've got 80 minutes to answer section A. So use your time wisely, check your spelling, and please remember that if you're writing out your essay as a draft, that is fine. But like I said, watch your time, but edit it. Don't write the same essay as it is as your final, because that is where there are errors. And it's too late at the end of the paper to go back, scratch out errors, rewrite because of time. So I hope that answers section A. And like I said, adapt your topic to everything. There's 30 marks for your content. So we want good essays, not complicated. Keep it simple. The most common essays that learners answer, there's the verhalende, where jy vertel, a story moet vertel. You are telling us a story. Daardie dag het ek 'n groot les geleer. That day I learned a big lesson, or ek het 'n baie belangrike les geleer. I learned an important lesson. You are telling a story, it would be written in the past tense. This is the most common essay that learners answer, which is the verhalende opstel. You also get your beskrywende opstel, where you are describing. That essay you call on your five senses. Right, very descriptive because, like I said, beskrywende. But most of our learners do tend to write a verhalende opstel. You can also write an argumentative opstel, where jy moet 'n standpunt hê. You have to take a stance. You either agree or disagree. So every topic that is there lends itself to different types of essays, which you have been writing since, like I said, grade 8. Your foundation has been laid. But most learners prefer a verhalende opstel of a beskrywende because it gives you more leeway to use the beeldsprake that you want. And a lot of learners draw on vocab from the letterkunde, the literature that they are doing. So I hope that does help us through with section A. Also, what is very important is that your response to the topic, how you organize your ideas, are important. And please remember that your organization of ideas is important because everything must be done in a logical manner. It is also on the rubric. Dit moet logiese wees. Interessant ook, very interesting ideas. You can make up the most wonderful stories. Dit kan fictief wees, it can be fictitious, and it must be in context with what has been asked as well. So please be guided by that. Don't just read the few words in the topic and then write immediately on my toekomsplanne or vriendskap. Also very important is that learners would read a topic. Dit was 'n goeie jaar. It was a good year. And quite often they will start writing about how it was a slegte jaar. It was a bad year. And then towards the end of the essay, suddenly dit was 'n goeie jaar. Now, you must remember that the topic asked you, dit was 'n goeie jaar. This was a good year. So you must focus on that. Highlight words, write out whatever you need to relating to that topic. I always tell my learners, have your topic in front of you. Underline it so that you know that you keep going back to it. After every paragraph, ask yourself, have I answered my topic? And that should guide you to writing an effective essay. It's time for
No, you can continue. Yeah.
And then we move on to afdeling B, which is section B. Section B, afdeling B, afdeling C is your transactionele text, your transactional writing. Very important with these two sections are your format. If you look at the rubric, you are assessed on your inhoud, beplanning, and format. Your formats are very important in this section. Like with paper 3, section B, section C, your formats are important. Now, afdeling B, I made a mistake. Afdeling B, you have category A, category B, and category C. So you have 3 categories. However, you are asked 4 questions in afdeling B. So 3 questions are taken from category A, category B, and category C. So if you look at category A, it's informele of vriendskaplike brief, formele brief, jou CV en dekbrief, briewe aan die pers, and a formele of informele e-pos. So one question will be from there. Category B is your recensie, koerantberig, tydskrif-artikel, agenda en notele, informele, formele verslag en jou huldeblyk. And category C is your dialoog, onderhoud en jou toespraak. So category A, category B, and category C. So from section B, you can have you tested on 1 from each category. But like I said, there's 4 questions. For the 4th question, it can come from either category A, category B, or category C. Now, if you look at category A, category A, I want to focus on the brief, informele brief, which is your informal letter, your vriendskaplike brief. And we must remember the format is important. Your address always goes on the right-hand side of your page, and straatnaam, your street name, is one word. I always tell the learners, learn one address. Don't change the address. Blomstraat 60. So the name of the street would come first and the number at the end. Immediately after that is the suburb. So Blomstraat 60, Blom Street 60, Durban. After that is the quarter, the code, and then the date, right? There's no need to leave lines. There's no punctuation, but it must be on the right-hand side. And we find at the marking center, one of the high frequency errors is that the format of the address is wrong. Learners write it in English. They are not writing the street name as one word. So please remember that. Burnwood Weg. Whatever it is, it must be written as one word. Once you are done with your address, you will leave a line and you will start Liewe or Beste, wherever you are writing to. Liewe, Beste, Pieter. Liewe, Beste, Dia, anything. Once you have done that, you will leave a line and you will start your letter. You must remember when you end a vriendskaplike brief, you end with groete, you leave a line and you put your name. Your friend Pieter of your friendin Jessica. Friendin if it is a female. That is your informal letter. And if you look at past papers, we do seem to be getting tested on brief quite often. And also formula brief. Now you need to remember that with the formal letter, your personal address is on the right-hand side. You will then leave a line. And then on the left-hand side, it's the business address. So who are you addressing from the business? Die bestuurder, which is the manager, or die hoof. The next line would be the name of the company. Usually this is given to you, the name of the company, and thereafter the address of the business. This is usually given to you in the question, so you can get that. Now, you must remember that for a formal letter, you are not saying liewe, you are not saying beste. When you start, you will start with geachte, which is Geagte. Geachte meneer of geachte juffrou. Remember geachte meneer. If you are using the abbreviation for meneer, remember how it is written. Okay? Small letters M, N, R met a punt with a full stop. Or if you are unsure, write out geachte meneer. Write out meneer in full. Thereafter, you would leave a line and you would write a short caption. What is your letter addressing? Swak diens, poor service, of waterprobleme in your woonboot, water problems in your flat. It must be written in capital letters. If it is not written in capital letters, make sure that it is underlined. And usually your question would tell you what the issue is. What is the main part of your letter, your formal letter? What issue are you addressing? So you would write that down, capital letters. If you forget to put it in capital letters, make sure you are underlining it. And then you will leave a line and start your letter. Again, formal letter, when you are ending your formal letter, you are not ending it with groete as you would with an informele brief. You would end it with die uwe. So D and UWE, which means yours faithfully. And then you will sign it. You will sign it. And after signing, you would initial so obviously your initial and your name. So you must remember that there are different formats for formele brief and informele brief. Another thing that's very important with the letter is that if you are writing a letter to your oma, of your opa, of your ma, of your pa, you are not going to write, hoe gaan dit met jou? You will say, hoe gaan dit met ma? Hoe gaan dit met pa? Of hoe gaan dit met opa? Ek verlang na opa. Wanneer sal opa kom kuier? Because it is out of respect and it's oma, opa, ma, of pa, of hoe gaan dit met u? But when you are writing to your friend, you can, by all means, hoe gaan dit met jou? Ek verlang na jou. Wanneer kom jy, friend, by my huis? Again, keep sentences simple and remember format. And then with the CV and deck brief, read the question, because quite often learners do a CV and then you forget the deck brief. So please read that very carefully. And then for the ear post, again, there is a format that you must follow. On, die ontvanger, die e-posadres en die onderwerp. You must have a topic for your, which is your subject, sorry, for your email. Category B is your recensie, which is your review. Dit kan vir 'n fliek, 'n restaurant of 'n boek wat jy het gelees, die agenda en notele. But what I want to focus on from category B is the Hildeblik, which is very popular. But learners, please remember that a Hildeblik is not an obituary. It is a tribute. Dit kan vir iemand wat lewende is. It can be for somebody that is alive. You are paying tribute to them. Of dit is vir iemand wat oorlede is, somebody that has passed on. Then it would be a eulogy. So please read the question carefully. Quite often, the Hildeblik would be, dit is jou beste vriend se 16de verjaarsdag. Hulle ouers het jou gevra vir hulle 'n Hildeblik by die verjaarsdag af te lewe. It is your friend's 16th birthday and her parents have asked you to deliver a tribute at the function. So this person is still alive. Hulle is lewendig. Please remember that. Clues to help you if you are confused, you don't know what the Hildeblik is asking. Look for words. Verjaarsdag, fear is to celebrate. Quite often the Hildeblik is asking for you to write a tribute for a teacher that is retiring. Die gunsteling onderwyser tree af. Tree af is to retire. If it says oorlede, the minute you see the word oorlede, you know that you are now writing for a person that has passed on. So please be mindful of that. Also with the Hildeblik, okay? It is not like how it is in English when it is an obituary. I know I am repeating myself because Hildeblik is a popular topic. So please read it carefully. And remember, when you are writing your Hildeblik, speak about the person's characteristics. Make it personal so that when we are marking, we also identify with you as well. So your first paragraph would introduce them, greet everyone because you are writing it. Remember, you are delivering it. So when you are writing it as if you are going to be reading it to people. So greet your audience. The first paragraph does not have to be long. What is the purpose of your Hildeblik? You then go on in the second paragraph to describe the person. When were they born? Where were they brought up? Positiewe eienskappe, their positive qualities. Your ervarings met die persoon, your experiences with the person, your herinneringe, your memories of this person. Use that in your second paragraph, as well as what that person is known for. In your last paragraph, you can conclude by summing up everything you have said. Why would we always remember this person if they have passed on? Or if they are alive, why we will continue to celebrate them and what a pleasure it is to know them. So keep it simple. So always remember that the Hildeblik, whether you are writing about iemand wat oorlede is, somebody that is passed on, or iemand wat lewendige is, somebody that is still living, you are always mentioning their positive qualities and mentioning their characteristics and introducing them as well. And then category C is much easier. This is your dialogue. We all remember dialogue between two people. It can also be an onderhoud of a toespraak. Quite often they have been asking for toespraak, which is your speech.
We'll be taking a short ad break.
News every day.
Whoever wants me to call him now after the break.
Okay.
After the break. The station manager, to wish the matrics. They started today.
They started today.
But
most will start on Thursday with
yeah, my
English.
nephew is writing. He's so chilled. My sister is stressing out.
Parents
I
always stress out.
I don't have any family members.
But you know what? Sometimes you don't even know they're right.
Yeah, some of them you don't know
No,
until you see it on
No, my
status or
nephew's like
something.
a grandchild writing.
Oh,
He's so relaxed. My sister said straight.
she'd be more
If you don't
stressed.
make it, we're not applying in private colleges. You get in UKZN or you go work and study part time. But everyone is doing private.
Private. The problem with private is that because they accept anyone. We've got so many
varsity. What about
kids.
the student
Varsity,
teachers?
Yes.
What about
They're
the
not
student
accredited.
teachers?
The student teachers that we get from
Yeah,
varsity
what about
college,
Stadio?
all of them are going to Stadio now.
Oh, so I'm a posh.
Yeah. Oh, and everything is private because you're going to.
Yes,
The parents tell us it's fine. They're going into. And now I see they've got New Bridge. I don't know what about.
And Rosebank and all
So
of
a lot of them are going there. and
See, we did it the hard way. Yeah.
some of and quite a few of
I was,
us.
if I went to UDW, like always they were shooting.
Yeah,
and
we were
bullets.
striking all
I
around
went to
the Edgewood.
Mancosa.
Oh, yeah, I knew the old
I
Bollywood
went to
guy.
Mancosa.
And then what you doing here?
What you mean? What I'm doing?
Grow.
Yeah, I started my
stifles
own
you.
business.
Alan Star stifle. Even when you get comfort zone.
Yeah, that's
you know,
me
you know,
at
you know.
school.
I applied here for the first thing. They never give me. I was like working part time and paying for my studies and stuff. And my sister was helping me and everybody because it was expensive. Then it was like university, and that was it. There was no all this colleges, whatever. And now like I do volunteer. Yeah. How's that feel? How's that feel?
You know, I started my own business.
Oh, lovely. What you doing?
IT, basically IT solutions.
Well, then you must
Good.
listen to my. You must listen to my. I hope you might have tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not picking on anyone, but it's stressful when you have somebody else. They can't even find anything, yet you school them, yet we got groups. But some people, you know what, honestly just don't know what to do.
I'm sure you had the worst beginning week.
No, but you know what? I managed to like pull it out. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, that was my story. And then I had my AI seminar.
That was recently.
Yeah,
because
I
this
had
is
my
about
AI seminar.
smoking. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm like a horse. Can you believe it? And guess what? It was like I was never in the bed because like from home, Zoha hated me and I was giving it with the medication. I wasn't even like no one wants to take responsibility. Yeah. This person doesn't do it to that person, that one doesn't do this. And I got money is allocated to school nurses, right? The minute my daughter and her husband they got to work, I'm starting at 7 o'clock with emails and calling in the morning. I did everything at my house. Can you believe it? My first day out of the house as such was that Friday when I came to set up the hall.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that you were looking
pale, extra white.
Sick.
Extra white.
But imagine, I never even know what that was. Gosh, it was like, you know, she was so like shocked that I never have a blood infection and that you can die.
Yeah, you can because you lost so much of blood.
You lost something, which is basically
and it's continuous bleeding,
and it's coming out, and that can cause infection. But you see, I take so much multivitamins and turmeric and this and that. I think all that helps.
We need another brother.
Hello, in the black community, in the Indian community, in the Muslim community, at my age, I'm like granny.
No.
True.
Yeah, my
the
friend.
minute you
I'm not
say,
gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you what your age is, but I
told
know
you.
you're not old.
But it's also your mindsets, man. You keep yourself.
No, but you know what? The best part of this was the joke. Like everyone's thinking, you must see the amount of flowers my friends, all of them sent. Everyone. Now people don't know how to. They think like psychologically.
Yeah.
But I was like, fine, because you know, like I lost the child and everything.
And they don't know how to act on. They don't know what to say.
Like I'll be honest, like my husband and my mother-in-law, like no, my husband and my sister was like, yeah, fine, we look after it, blah blah blah. My mother was saying, no, you don't have to old and take. I said exactly, no support stuff. Exactly. Because 4 years, my mom's late. She's old.
But then if you're listening to all of that, come on.
No, but you know what? Your mom is your mom.
Imagine me being 57, my flipping child is 10 years old. As it is when I go to pick up Fatima's Dara, the children in the class tell her, my mother said, tell your mother she was our grade 6 teacher.
Allah, never. Whoa.
I'm sure she'd be like 26 years old. Yeah,
no, but
I know why you worried about that.
No, but you feel it.
You feel it when they say it.
I'm like very OCD and perfectionist. I look long term. Imagine me, fuck, like, yeah, imagine if I ever see my child when I'm 20, live to 20. Just think about it like 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Be realistic now. Be realistic.
Only Allah knows. Don't say be realistic. Only Allah knows. If you're eating healthy and if you're doing things the right way, no.
But so anyway, on the plus side, they said according to anesthesis and the guy in Istanbul, my body is not aging. Yeah, my body's not aging according to my
your actual age.
Yeah,
that's good then. That's why when you say menopause, I'm like, how are you?
I'm gonna cough it now.
Yeah. But it was what experience.
I can't imagine, but you keep pushing through.
And you know what? I like, as I said, I do so many things.
I'm calling you. Allah.
You are listening to School Matters with Sumaya.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, welcome to School Matters. As you're aware, we are having special shows, special editions, only for the grade 12 learners who are writing their final matric exams. Today was the very first day of their exams. But as tradition goes, we have to get the board of directors, the radio station manager, to wish you all the best for your examination. So we are linking up with the radio station manager, the Radio Al Ansar, the station manager, Mr. Faisal Suleiman. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum. Alhamdulillah. I just want to say you sound absolutely great right now listening to you on the other side. Yes, and you know all I can tell you is right now listening to you, and if you listen to this recording at another time, you'll definitely say we are one of the radio stations which are flying high because you sound like a really popular radio station, you know, with that husky voice and the way you're saying it. And I think I'm surprised because first time I'm listening to you where I'm chatting to you, you know, we're linking up with you. So your message to our class of 2025, our grade 12 learners. Jazakallah so much for linking up with us, and inshallah, hopefully, we'll definitely throw that party which we throw every year for the results. Jazakallah.
Yes.
Jazakallah. That was the station manager of Radio Al Ansar, Mr. Faisal Suleiman. Yes, you heard it from the station manager, from the board of directors. All the best for your grade 12 final exams. And we are continuing with, we have like about 10 minutes. We are continuing rounding up paper 3 with on-air tuition.
So we're now looking at afdeling seer, which is the last section in paper 3, where you are either given advertentie, uitnodiging, which is your invite, a strooibiljet, a pamphlet, plakkaat, poster, dagboekinskrywing, 'n kort boodskap, tekst, instruksies or rigtingaanwysing. So you are tested on 3 things. If you look at category R, advertentie, you know, you do advertentie in paper 1, and question 3 is always the advertentie. Draw on that. For advertentie, we are looking for vet gedrukte woorde, bold words, hoofletters, persoonlike taal. You are not going to write paragraphs in your advertentie. Read the question. What are you advertising? Include die belangrike inligting, so the important information. You're not given marks for drawing, but obviously the format, so it must be eye-catching. For plakkaat, the same applies for the plakkaat. And uitnodiging, which is your invite. Remember the format and the information that needs to be included on an invite. Category B, die dagboekinskrywing. I urge you, learners, read the question. You are always asked to mark 2 dagboekinskrywings, to write 2 diary entries. Die dag voor die incident of die dag na die incident, the day before an incident or the day after, or die dag voor en die dag dit het gebeur. So the day before and the day of an incident. 2 diary entries. Please read the question carefully. Now, we are also tested on a kort text boodskap where you have to write a text message. It is not in WhatsApp language. You just write it as a paragraph in goeie Afrikaans. And then category C, your instructies of your rigtingaanwysings. Rigtingaanwysings, directions. Learners do like to answer rigtingaanwysings, but please remember it is not always an easy question. You could be given a map, a padkaartjie, and your directions have to match that map. Or you are writing a list of directions, written aanwysings that you have learned off by heart. Please make it interesting. It's not draai rechts, draai links. It's not only that. Jy moet, jy is hier op Smitstraat. Ry vir 5 kilometers totdat jy by die eerste stopstraat kom. Make your sentences like that, and please remember rechterkant, linkerkant, because quite often learners write linger. Dis nie linger, dis linkerkant. With your instructies now, your instructions in point form, usually learners write 7 instructions. Remember, each instruction must begin with a verb. And I just want to go back to rigtingsaanwysings. Again, your vocabulary is important. Doodloopstraat, regterkant, verkeerscirkel, and avoid again writing sentences in English or using English words. Category C, learners do, Section C, afdeling C, learners do generally perform very well because the format, you have been doing this, like I said, in paper 1 with plakat, which is your poster, your advertensies, and dagboek, inskriving, because that is persoonlik. And please remember that your taal is important. Quite often learners forget when they're writing in ontkennende, they leave out one me at the end. So your sentences are again important, as well as your format. So I hope that does help with paper 3.
Do you know what happens if a learner just blanks out, especially with Afrikaans?
That does happen quite often. I always tell learners, you have 2.5 hours. The minute you feel yourself tensing up, put your pencils down, go through the paper again, just take a short breath. You have been preparing since grade 8. And like I said, you've got this. Your mindset is important. Quite often we go into the exam, we're flipping through, you can't find what you have pre-learned and you panic. That's where you blank out. So take care of your mental health, because like I said, it is important. You've got a strong support system. Your teachers, your parents, your family, we are all behind you, and we know that you've got this exam.
Well, Priyanka, you know what? Thank you so much. Your words of encouragement, you said, but just anything, just for the parents out there.
For the parents, quite often parents put a lot of pressure on their kids. Understandable. We all want our kids to excel. We want the best for them. But parents, trust that your kids have this. And, it always helps with those snacks. Moms always do that whenever their kids are studying. Those care packages, those things do help. Any words of encouragement. Sit up with them, even if it means you telling them to write 3 sentences of an essay each time, just so that they can learn it. Show you the formats. Don't get frustrated when they are getting it wrong. They panic, and it's just little words of encouragement to
and a
help
message
them.
to your learners.
To my learners, I'm so proud of them. In fact, when I told them I was going to be on radio, they did ask me to send them a shout out. So my 12A of BURNWOOD Secondary, sterkte, julle is al sterre. In fact, all of the learners writing, to all of your teachers, julle is supersterre. You are superstars, en ons glo in you. We believe in you, and ons is baie trots op julle. We are so proud of you. We don't say it often, and sometimes, we may forget and we may shout. It doesn't come from a place of hate. Ons is baie lief vir jou, and especially my kids. Ek is baie lief vir elkeen van julle. And like the station manager said, we are behind you, and I echo the same sentiments. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to wish my nephew, Yasin Bacchus, who's writing his grade 12. My sister was also an educator. It's like she's stressing. It's like she's writing an exam. Yes. So I think every parent out there is so stressed.
Parents, teachers, we're all feeling. So as a grade 12 learner, don't ever feel that you are alone. Trust me, as parents and as teachers, we feel that 10, in fact, 100 times more. And sometimes you are a parent and a teacher by profession. You are feeling it more, but parents are there with you.
Yeah. Well, and that brings us to the end of this evening School Matters, focusing on Afrikaans paper 2, bioeducator Priyanka from BURNWOOD Secondary. A huge shukran thank you to our guest again for sharing such valuable insight and guidance. Our awesome tech Asif for making the show possible. My email address is sumaya@outlook.com. To all our Go out there and give Afrikaans paper 3 your very best. Until next time, this is Sumaya signing off from School Matters. Stay focused, stay inspired, and as always, Alhamdulillah for every opportunity to learn. Assalamu alaikum.
You are listening to School Matters with Sumaya Khan. Radio Alan 24/7, 365.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al Ansar News.
Breaking news this hour, the 21st of October. The news from Durban 90.4 FM, Pietermaritzburg 105.6 FM. KwaZulu-Natal reports that there is no disruption on the first day of matric exams. America Monina. KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC Sipho Hlomuga says the first day of matric final exams have gone smoothly. He visited Scottsboro High School in the South Coast today to check on its readiness for the exams. 49 grade 12s at the school sat for the Computer Applications Technology Practical. MEC Hlomuga says the department has identified several schools as red zones for possible exam malpractice. Hlomuga says additional invigilators have been deployed to tighten security and ensure the integrity of the exam process. More news. Minister Senzo Mchunu resumes testimony before the ad hoc committee today. MPs, members of parliament, probe Mchunu's alleged involvement in a criminal syndicate and his move to disband the political killings task team. However, the suspended minister has been asked, amongst other things, whether he had met two individuals, Brian Mokotsi and Kat Matlala, who had allegedly been identified to have interfered with police operations.
This witness says that he was told that you admit that you, Mokotsi, and Fusi Matlala had met, and that Matlala was also sponsoring your son. But apparently the evidence will be that you had met with Mokotsi and Matlala. Have you ever met with them in together in one room on one occasion?
Never. I've never met Matlala alone. I've never met him in the company of Mokotsi, and possibly in any other